The goal with the event is really to share with you our go forward direction with our product. We've got some exciting content today. As we think about our products, what we are thinking about is like, how do we help you extract the most value from all this data? We launched a version of Vizy about a couple of months back, but it is about to go through a bunch of changes. And I'm going to play a video here that is a demo of what the future of Vizy looks like.
We had discussions about, are these even dashboards? Like, is the future of dashboards truly a dashboard, or is it more of an application where, it's context aware, I can take direct action out of it, and that type of mindset is how we're thinking about how we build dashboards moving forward.
I would venture to say that nobody is sharing the level of signals that Amazon is sharing, which is giving you as advertisers the ability to reach a broader audience and then be able to measure the success of that.
Well, hello, everybody. Good critical mass of attendees here. Welcome to first of its kind event, Intentwise Up Next. We intend to do this twice a year. The goal with the event is really to share with you our go forward direction with our product. We've got some exciting content today. We're going to share with you what our roadmap looks like. We'll walk you through a few demos. And then I also have a special guest, Jeffrey Cohen, who's the product evangelist with Amazon Ads. He's going to be joining us at the later half of the presentation. Thank you all for joining. I know the attendees, it's a list of current customers, folks who haven't yet engaged with us. So I'm going to walk through a few slides. Just a quick note on who we are. We are a technology platform. We are an advanced advertising partner with Amazon. We have primarily three solutions. One is an ad optimization platform designed to help you optimize and accelerate optimization of search ads and DSP. The other is Intentwise Analytics Cloud, which is, think of it as your out-of-the-box data infrastructure, which is helping you collect all this fragmented Amazon and retail media data and make sense out of it as quickly as you can. And last but not least, Intentwise Explore is a solution we built on top of Amazon Marketing Cloud. It's a solution we co-developed with Amazon to help accelerate the adoption value extraction from Amazon Marketing Cloud. Now, besides all of the tech we build, we also invest quite a bit of time educating our community about all things that are happening in our space. So Vaibhav, go ahead and share a link to that community. If you haven't already joined our community, I'd highly encourage you to do so. And with that, let's dive in. So what really is driving our product investments? Certainly this year, and certainly for the last several years, but certainly in particular this year, there's a couple of things that I want to point out in terms of trends. One, as you all know, Amazon is sharing more and more data than ever before with us, with the advertisers. So as we think about our products, what we are thinking about is like, how do we help you extract the most value from all this data? Number two is generative AI and the impact it is having. In simple terms, the way we can think about what generative AI has done is that it is allowing software to understand human language a whole lot better. So increasingly, they can act more and more and speak like a human, right? So I think we are entering the world where software, we don't sit and design for menus and forms and buttons and screens, but more for conversations, because now software can listen, understand, and respond just like your peer or a teammate would. With those two as kind of the two big trends, the way we think about our goal at Intentwise is, how do we help the brands and agencies we work with unlock value from all this abundance of data? And then second, how do we put generative AI to use where productivity levels up? So those are our two goals. And with that, what have we been building that we're going to showcase today? I'd say three buckets of things. One is we are embedding AI in all of our current applications, and you'll see a demo of that in a moment. Number two is we're building smart applications leveraging AI where, how do we surface insights quicker around problems that today take a lot of time? Again, we'll show a demo of that. And also number three, dashboards. Traditionally, dashboards have been, visuals, but inactionable. You can't actually take action in context. That is also something AI is allowing us to change. Again, we'll show you a demo of that as well. With that, our first demonstration here is of Vizy. For those of you that have been using Intentwise software, you've already heard of Vizy and probably have tried Vizy a little bit. Think of this as your AI-powered teammate. We launched a version of Vizy about a couple of months back, but it is about to go through a bunch of changes. And I'm going to play a video here that is a demo of what the future of Vizy looks like. Here in the campaign screen of Intentwise Ad Optimizer. A couple of months back, we had introduced the first version of Visi, which showed up as a search bar on the campaign screen. There's a couple of big changes that we are now introducing. One is Visi is now available across the entire platform. And two, Visi is now conversational. And three, it supports more capabilities than it did before. But let's start with the basics. But pivot by campaign type. You'll see on the left-hand side, all of the data is pivoted or rolled up by campaign type. I could also do this in any language. So let me try Spanish. Agrupar por portfolio. Here I've asked Visi to roll up by portfolio. You've noticed that many users love date range shortcuts. Let me try a couple. YTD, the date range is now just changed to the full year. Yeah, I can go MTD, which is month to day. So now this is changed to the current month. Compare June and July. Visi switches to compare mode with the appropriate time frame set. Let me try something that ad managers are doing constantly. Find me search terms that have spent more than $100 in the last 30 days and have zero ad revenue. Visi takes us to the search term screens with the appropriate filters applied. Here are some new capabilities that Visi can handle. Alert me when products are suppressed from ads. Setting up alerts is now super easy. You just speak in plain language. Find me underperforming campaigns. You'll now see all of the campaigns whose ACOS is greater than target ACOS. And if you'd like, you can reduce budgets on these campaigns, decrease budgets of these campaigns by 10%. Done. Here's something else Visi can do now. Tell me what changed between June and July. I want to say yes. Visi now has created a task to go analyze the account, and it should take less than 10 minutes. And when it's done, it'll notify you back so you can check out the results. For now, let's see what has happened. There's an in-progress task that I just created. The other new capability with Visi is that you can actually interact with the results. So let's go look at something that's already done. I'm going to ask it to give me account level summary. Visi comes back with a text narrative on what happened. It also has suggestions for what else you could be asking for. The way to think about Visi is that it's going to continue to do tasks for you that consume a lot of time and allow you to reclaim a lot of the operational and tactical time back. So that's a quick glimpse of Visi. We have been in closed beta. We're going to slowly roll this out to all Intentwise users. In the very near future, we'd love for you to engage with it, give us feedback. The more feedback you give us, the better it gets. And then when you think about the future of Visi, it's entirely possible that in about 6 to 9 month time frame, software solutions actually start with a search bar. And these solutions can automate a lot of things that potentially consume time. And the goal here for us with Visi is how do we help you reclaim a lot of that tactical manual time back so that you can put it to strategic and more creative use, which we think are the real drivers of growth for any brand and any advertiser.
Yeah, sure. And if I would just add to that, I think what you see in Visi today isn't what you saw in Visi, even a month ago, right? And what you see in Visi a month from now is not what's in Visi today. So this is something we're going to continue to evolve. You're going to continue to see new things in Visi every time you come and test it out. And we're really excited about how this can change how you interact with Intentwise.
Great point. And by the way, that's Kenton. I should have introduced him at the beginning of the session. He's actually going to walk us through one of the demos. Kenton is our product evangelist here at Intentwise. Okay, so let's go to the next topic, which is we're incredibly excited to be launching a new solution. What I'm about to show you falls into this bucket of what I demoed to you before was embedding AI in the solutions we already have. But what I'm going to show you is solutions we are going to build that and are already building that AI makes possible. Okay. So this solution is called Product 360. Let me frame the problem we are solving with this. So it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a brand or an agency, when a product's performance goes up or down, whether it does really well or it underperforms, figuring out why can often take a lot of time because it is dependent on so many factors. It's pricing, it's inventory, it's buy box, it's advertising, it's things that competitors are doing. And what we have noticed among our client base is that performance troubleshooting or understanding performance consumes a lot of time. In the technology world, there was a word called observability, as in There are solutions that keep track of how a software is performing, where are errors, what's causing it, so on and so forth. But in the e-commerce world, there isn't a concept of observability, which is why we are introducing this whole new product called Product 360. Kenton is going to run a quick poll here if you're interested in kind of learning more once you see the demo. But let me walk you through what that looks like. So the way Product 360 works, again, we're in closed beta. You connect your advertising and Seller Central or Vendor Central accounts, and that's all you need to do. And once you do that, the platform on a weekly basis is surfacing anomalies in performance, products that have outperformed, products that have underperformed. The system is automatically taking into account week over week changes, mix changes, even seasonality to surface these anomalies. And by the way, these anomalies can be delivered into your Slack channels or even email. But let me go through a couple of examples. So here is a product that has outperformed last week. And the summary you see here, which is it's basically saying that there's a price decrease, which is correlated with this performance. There's glance views have increased. This is all generated by AI. And AI also is detecting the inflections in some of these metrics. Okay. Now, if you're super busy, you find this thing and perhaps forward it to a team member. But if you're someone that is managing this day to day, you want to dig into the weeds and figure out what is actually happening, you could do that. So you dig in and you've got the AI generated summaries with a lot more detail up at the top. Down below, you've got the last 8 weeks performance data with labels around when the product has underperformed or overperformed. This is the last week's data. And down below, you see all the inflections. So sales really started to take off from August 4th. Advertising hasn't really changed that much. So I'm going to just collapse this advertising section, but I want to point out that we have all kinds of metrics from advertising. But on the retail side, you can see that the discount price went from $15 to $10, which is really correlated with sales going up. We are capturing pricing, buy box, inventory, and this is just a starting point. We are in the process of bringing in BSRs, organic ranking, and competitive metrics as well. Again, the idea is how do we help you understand and troubleshoot performance very, very quickly. So that was an outperforming product, but we can also look at underperforming product. And here, this product underperformed last week. And down below, you can kind of see, oh, in this particular case, price went up. They also had some buy box issues. And by the way, as you navigate this information, you can trade messages back and forth with your teammates. For example, Kenton messaged this to me earlier saying, hey, can you look at this? Something is up with this product. And I can respond back here saying, hey, looks like a pricing and buy box issue. Imagine this kind of messaging happening even between, if you're an agency, your teammates, or even the end client, if that's how far you want to take it. So annotations, more metrics, but also simplified views that show you kind of what happened at each of the products, especially if you have a large catalog. Now, this capability isn't just restricted to anomalies. There is also an all products view where you are able to see performance for the last several weeks. There is a week over week change metric as well as a mixed change metric right there. And then there's a tag on them in terms of whether they outperformed or underperformed. You can roll up by categories. You can label products. You can look at data by sub-brands. And any of these products, you can dive in to see more details. So that's Product 360. And we're getting a ton of interest and feedback from our clients, and we'd love for you to participate and provide us feedback. Kenton, do you want to just quickly run the poll and see if you're interested in this? Please feel free to vote, and we'll make sure we follow up with you.
Yeah, I just launched that poll, so just click yes in that poll if you're interested in joining the beta, and someone from our team will reach out. Whether you're currently a client of Intentwise or you're not, just throw a yes in there, and someone on our team will be in contact. And Srinath, I would just add, I think this is our starting place as we think about things like Product 360. But the idea of unifying data into one place, products is just a start. I think we want to think about this from how does your whole account data unify? How does advertising data unify more and more? And then layering things like Wizzy into that to help you truly speed up the time it takes to do performance analysis on a daily, weekly, or monthly level.
100%. I think, and I'll touch on this later as well, one of the key things that we have been investing for the last several years is the underlying data infrastructure. And what that is allowing us to do is to bring together metrics that are otherwise hard to do. So on that foundation is what we have built Product 360. And like Kenton mentioned, there'll be many more products like this coming out as part of our portfolio. We're going to switch to the third topic for today in terms of demo, which is dashboards. I'm going to pass control over to Kenton in a moment, but to walk through an actual set of dashboards. But what I do want to call out is I want to set the context with the following. If you think about how we have built dashboards in the past, we have used either you've used some sort of third-party reporting tool or you've built an application. But generally what has happened is dashboards have tended to be static, did not have context. You could not actually take action. So for example, let's say you had an AMC dashboard. You could not actually click on something and say, hey, I want to create an audience of this cohort. Dashboards were inactionable for the most part. What AI is doing is allowing us to dramatically accelerate the speed at which we develop things, because a lot of this stuff can be done by prompting. And it is also allowing us to do something that was hard to do before, which is let's not have this separation of dashboards and then applications where you can take actions. Let's converge them all into one. So great looking dashboards and the ability to take actions. That's the future of dashboards. The old form of dashboards, we think, is obsolete already. And we are moving fast to make that transition. And Kenton, I'm going to have Kenton take over and walk us through one such use case.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Srinath. I think one point I'd just add to that, right, is we had discussions about are these even dashboards? Like, is the future of dashboards truly a dashboard, or is it more of an application where, it's context aware, I can take direct action out of it, and that type of mindset is how we're thinking about how we build dashboards moving forward. So this is just one example of what these dashboards are transitioning over to from a path to conversion dashboard from our Amazon Marketing Cloud tool. This data is all data that we've had in the past, and we're just working to revisualize this, enhance the data that's there for you, so that you can drive deeper insight out of that. So you can see as I scroll down here, there's totally refreshed visuals from our current platform, and the ability to use AI in the development process here has really sped up our ability to build these insights faster and to generate additional data modules that weren't possible before. And as I scroll down, we'll notice when we get to the bottom here, the next layer that we've layered in is making these dashboards context aware. The next layer of that, right? The first layer is let's generate deeper data insights with updated visuals that are much easier for us to bring to you guys now with AI in development. The second layer is making these dashboards context aware. So we're going to be building in AI recommendations and AI summaries, similar to what you saw in Product 360, directly into the dashboards that you're seeing. So you'll have direct callouts on your dashboards as to what's happening in your account and what you should be doing about it. So you can see here on Path to Conversion, we've generated some key insights that I can dive into as a summary for the dashboard. Maybe you're an executive and you just want to see a top line of what's going on. They can generate that here, and recommendations if I'm a media manager about what I should do about this data. That's on the dashboard here for me. And the third layer of that is making these actionable. So you can see here, all these recommendations that are available for me, I click add audience and I can create a direct audience of everybody that's in those three paths. So if I want to invest more in people that are in the DSP to sponsored product path, I can create an audience based off of that path. And we're going through this process for all of our Amazon Marketing Cloud and all of our analytics dashboards, enhancing them and improving the visuals and data that's available for you, making them context aware and making them actionable across the board, so that you can get quicker and more actionable data sets out of all of your different Amazon and e-commerce data. The dashboard you just saw there is finishing out development. So over the next couple of weeks, you should see it. If you're a current Intentwise customer, you should see all of our Amazon Marketing Cloud and all of our Analytics Cloud dashboards updating to this new set of visuals over these next coming weeks, adding in, again, those enhanced visuals, AI summaries, and actions to follow as well.
So a little bit of behind the scenes, under the hood kind of view. It is a technical representation, but a quick walkthrough is that number one, we are designing for a future where our user endpoints are not just someone has to log into an application. You could be interacting with us, yes, from the UI, but also from Slack and email and any other free-form format. The tech stack we have in place is we are rapidly building out a library of agents. The what changed analysis you saw as an agent. We already have a recommendations agent. So there will be a library of agents that are responding to requests. All of that are interacting with what's called an MCP server now, which called MCP stand for Model Control Protocol for that are non-tech. In the AI world, MCP is now the equivalent of APIs of the past. So the idea here is how do we have process in place where we can plug and play any large language model, whether it's cloud or OpenAI. MCP servers give us that flexibility, and it also allows us to rapidly build out agents. And what this MCP server is also interacting with is a core component, what we call a crown jewel, which is the Intentwise data layer. A lot of the capabilities you're seeing are only possible because we have been investing in a very strong data foundation for the last 2 to 3 years. Okay? And of course, thanks to the Amazon team, with all their APIs, they're making a great deal of information available, which makes our ability to deliver end use cases much, much better. And for those of you that may have more technical questions, we can follow up on this. But so this is our simplified current view that we are building on. In terms of what to expect looking ahead, agent-led advertising execution is here. It's going to become mainstream, and we are going to play right into that. Context-aware actionable dashboards that we just talked about, and that applies not just to Amazon Marketing Cloud dashboards we have, but all of Intentwise Analytics Cloud's dashboard, all dashboards for that matter, will be in this form going forward. And then smart applications, Product 360 is a start. We have a number of other applications that we will be launching in the near future. But these are kind of the main tracks we'll be pursuing. Yeah, so with that, I think Visi will be rolled out to everybody in the near future. So will the actual dashboards. For those of you that are interested in Product 360, again, please reach out. We'd love to have you test it out and have you add value for kind of whether you're an agency or brand. We think it can be valuable for you. With that, I would like to welcome Jeffrey Cohen. I want to stop sharing. Jeff, I guess we can get on video here. Hey, Jeff. If you have not heard or seen Jeff before, then probably you're not operating in the Amazon ads ecosystem, right, Jeff?
Maybe there's some new people out there. So nice to join you. Great to be back. I've definitely seen quite a few names coming across the chat of friends and colleagues from the space. So great to be on here talking AI and kind of how it's impacting our space today and how partners and brands are thinking about it.
Fantastic. Before we jump into our conversation, if you don't already follow Jeff, you absolutely should. He's a huge source of information of anything new that's going on, especially in Amazon ads. So I learned quite a bit. So do my team members. So I'd encourage you to do that. Jeff, let's dive in. We've been talking about AI a bit. Clearly, Amazon, in particular Amazon ads, is rolling out a ton of AI capabilities. Walk us through what that has looked like certainly this year, and what brand should it expect, and how brands should be thinking about leveraging those capabilities.
Listen, when it comes down to it, Amazon Ads has been using AI as part of our feature functionality really since we developed it. So when we look at some of the AI that's kind of driving ads today, it's tools and technology like Performance Plus and Brand Plus. It's a lot of the recommendations that you're seeing either being pushed into our partner applications or within the ad console that are really kind of running scenarios to say, these are opportunities for you to improve your advertising based on what others have done in the past. The one thing I do like to kind of caveat people with this is, there's always context to advertising that a generative AI isn't always going to know. So for instance, is your product a new launch and therefore you're making a heavier investment? Is your product at end of life and therefore you're kind of, letting it sell out? Those are where you need to put your own personal inspection on things that the recommendations are making for you. So, Amazon is making a lot of tools and technology accessible. That's probably a secondary way that Amazon is working. A lot of that has come across within video, graphics, audio, really making it things that were difficult, challenging, time-consuming, and expensive are now able to be done quickly. Simply enter an ASIN and get images, change those images background, add light motion. All those things are things that are just improving the customer experience. making your product detail pages better. And yeah, that's really, I think, where Amazon has been playing in the game in terms of what you all are seeing on a ad console type of basis.
So one of the assets that we use quite a bit is the AI-driven SQL generated in AMC. I think it was launched maybe 6, 7 months back, and maybe earlier. But the accuracy maybe was 40, 50, 60% when it started. But now we've seen that it's gone to 80, 90%. So I think that's we get excited about those things because it's a huge productivity improvement. Yes, you still need someone who knows AMC to validate outputs, but that's just one of many examples that we certainly are excited to be leveraging that Amazon has rolled out.
Yeah, I think Andy Jassy said quite easily or simply, we're developing AI in every facet of every team that's working here at Amazon, whether it's internal operational efficiencies or something external to make the products easier to use and more accessible, democratized for more people to be able to use them. You're right. AMC is a great example of the skill set that was necessary for AMC 2 years ago was significantly higher than it is today. You need to understand how the product works, but a lot of the AI that's come about is making it easier to be using on a daily basis.
My next question, Jeff, you're in a have the perfect vantage point to be addressing this because you were on our side of the universe several years back, before you joined Amazon. If you think about the amount of data Amazon is sharing, like you could just dial back 3 years, right? There was ads and there was NWS API, nothing else. But that picture now looks very different. Can you talk about that in terms of what's driving that change? And again, the same question as before, which is how should brands and agencies be thinking about these exploding data and signals?
Yeah, so I won't even really get into the retail side of the signals that are coming from the retail side. I'll just focus on the advertising side. As most advertisers thought of the DSP, the Amazon DSP, as a way of really doing more sophisticated retargeting, remarketing, people who had been to their page before but not bought, people that hadn't bought in a long time. As Amazon's ad offering has increased, both it's owned and operated, so Prime Video, Wondery, audio, Alexa, all the different areas where you can show up within the Amazon canvas. And then you throw on top of that the third party supply that Amazon has, right? So we announced a deal with Roku so you can show up on other streaming services. We have deals with third party publishers such as Disney and ESPN and Hulu, and hundreds of others. It's necessary for advertisers to be able to dial in their advertising for it to work properly. And that requires more signal sharing. And so I would venture to say that nobody is sharing the level of signals that Amazon is sharing, which is giving you as advertisers the ability to reach a broader audience and then be able to measure the success of that. And so we're really seeing that, I think, in two ways. One is AMC audiences, right? That's one of the easiest places to kind of see this advancement. AMC audiences is allowing you to understand what's currently working for your brand, what those audiences look like. And then it's able to take that information and use it to maybe boost your bid within sponsored products. In addition to that, you can bring in your first party data. So if you have your own D2C website or you're using other first party data signals, you can bring that in to cross reference it with the Amazon signals. And again, all of this is about expanding reach. How do you reach more customers? And if your brand is only focused in on the customers who are doing search, find, buy, which is the traditional way that a lot of people learned about Amazon advertising, you're limiting yourself to a rather small pool of potential shoppers. As you start to get into a wider range of signals, you start to understand shoppers who may be in market, maybe in category, maybe you're buying similar products, maybe you're interested in similar things that would then lead them back to those purchases. And when brands are measuring the impact of their upper funnel advertising, what they're finding is that when they invest in brand performance, they're actually improving their conversion performance advertising. This is not an Amazon case study at all, but I recently read an article about New Balance shoes, and it was talking about this major turnaround that the New Balance shoe company has had. They had 15 years of declining sales when they brought in a new CMO who spent 2 years investing in brand marketing and has turned them into one of the hottest shoes for teens and young adults. And so they took a product that was an old man shoe, right? And I'm the old man that was wearing those shoes. And they've turned it into a hip and trendy shoe. So my 18-year-old son now wants to borrow my New Balance shoes. 2 years ago, I was borrowing his shoes and they were a different brand. And so it just kind of goes to show where brand value and where brand investment can go into driving um, overall growth of your and reach of your brand to find new shoppers.
One of the proxies that we talk about in terms of brand performance, even on Amazon, is your brand search volume improving or not? The big driver of that is how much is being invested in brand marketing. So you and your team, Jeff, invest quite a bit of time in the partner ecosystem, and we have benefited quite a bit from that. And thoughts on what are you excited about in terms of that partnership, and what do you enjoy working with companies like Intentwise?
Yeah. So I started off this year. If you've followed me on LinkedIn, I started out this year really talking about how, in my mind, this was a year of discovery for me. I wanted to learn more about AI on a personal note. I knew that AI was going to have a big impact on our business, on our partners in 2025, but I wasn't sure what that impact was going to look like. And I don't think I had to be Nostradamus to make that prediction, right? That AI was going to have. We had been talking about AI for a long time, but we hadn't really started to see the true impact of AI. And the way that I went through that journey was a very personal one, meaning that I downloaded several of the apps to my phone and to my computer, and I really kind of made it a personal journey to start using them every day. And I wanted to understand what they were, how they could be used, how important prompting was, what happens if I'm not good at prompting. And all of that was really designed to try to understand how consumers are currently using this and maybe using this. And one of the things that I'll say a large number of us that are on this presentation are probably to the more advanced side, right? Because you're taking the time, you're learning about this thing, and there's still a lot of people in the industry who aren't paying attention. If we had asked a question a year ago, how many people use ChatGPT, it would have only been 20% of the room. If I asked that question today, I would venture to say it's almost 100% of everybody on here has used ChatGPT or a ChatGPT-esque type of application. So then that kind of leads me to my next thing, which is like, okay, great. I'm now starting to learn how to use it in my daily life. How is it being integrated into our partners and how are they thinking about it? And I think that the first half of the year was rather slow. We saw a couple major announcements from some partners who were releasing generative AI as technology, but the speed of that innovation has really picked up over the summer, to be quite honest with you. And the reason why that's happening in that way is because this is really hard stuff to get right. And one thing I'm consistently hearing from all of our partners when I talk to them is we want to do it, but we want to do it right. And when you ask a question like, what is my A cost or what is my ROAS, that answer has to be correct.
Yeah.
And you can't have, if you're not familiar with the term, but you can't have a term called hallucination, which means that the AI is trying to give you an answer, but it doesn't know if it's the correct answer. There's context in the job that we're doing that requires that our answers are right. And this is the same for every industry as they're trying to kind of personalize it down to the work that they do. And so I think we're just starting to kind of get to this point where tech providers, Intentwise, being one of them, you guys were just a finalist in our hackathon for the application that you showed earlier today, and that's just kind of going to show like where things are headed. And now I think it's a point of our users, agencies, other tech providers, and brands to start figuring out how do you actually implement this into your daily advertising life. I think there's a couple questions you can be asking yourself, or you can be asking your tech providers when you're doing this. One of those questions I think is, what are you doing with any information that I give you? Right? What's happening to it? Am I helping to train your algorithms? How are you using my personal data, meaning my brand data? I think it's important for you to know that and understand that's no different than any other data question you should have asked before generative AI, to be honest with you. It's just maybe a little bit more in the limelight. I think the second one is that you should always have a high level of inspection with the results that are coming back. That's how you build trust. And so, one of the lessons I've had to teach myself is that AI is not a time saver at the beginning. AI starts to become a time saver over time. But the first time that I use it, whether it was to rewrite an email, write a LinkedIn post, edit a paper, do my taxes, I had to put a high level of inspection to everything that came back until I was comfortable that it understood the actions that I wanted it to take and was giving me the results that I needed. And so I think that's kind of where we're at in the world today, and what we're seeing from our partners is, we're starting to see some bits and pieces of what this can look like. It's going to require a lot of customer feedback to kind of figure out how to take it from that point to a full-blown solution. It's kind of funny because 5 years ago, we had tools that you entered your ASIN and would do all the advertising for you. And a lot of the market pushed back and said, no, 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 I don't want that. I want to control all my own levers. Now you have the ability to control all your own levers, but you have so many data signals and you have so much information to process that you need a tool like AI to help you discover where the anomalies are that you should be focusing your time and energy on.
100%. I think, I mean, the one I couldn't agree with you more on the point about these are hard problems to solve. And I think in our world at Intentwise, we see the hard part coming in three forms. One is quality of output, which is precision, especially where precision is a necessity. Right? The question like, what is my ACOS can't be a plausible answer. It needs to be a precise answer. Uh, the other is latency. Like if I'm using the Intentwise app and I ask a question, it takes 35 seconds to come back. Why would I wait for it? Right. So that dictates what models do we use, how do we architect things. And the third piece is cost. Every call to an LLM costs something. So the balancing quality of output, speed of delivery, and cost is where we spend all our time trying to figure out how to deliver the best experience to users. It should also make economic sense for us as a business.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the best advice I still like to give people is experiment this on your own outside of your business, right? Whether it's asking the AI to fix your email or to help you solve a problem, you're just going to get better at everything that you do. And you're going to learn to provide that inspection. So, really simple one. I wanted to know where to take my car to get it serviced. I knew that the mechanic's name was Mr. Lee. Okay. If you just went to a regular search and said, I'm looking for a mechanic in my area named Mr. Lee, I don't know what my results are that I came back. But I went to an AI and I said, I live in Northbrook, Illinois. I'm looking for a mechanic that goes by the name Mr. Lee. Can you help me? It came back and was like, based on reviews, people are referencing the mechanic Mr. Lee at this facility, and here's the information. And so it's like, that's where AI can help us. And as I learned to use it to help me in my life, I will then learn to use it to help me in my job. One of the interesting stats that I heard was that executives seemed very lean to AI. They're using AI to ask very difficult questions and get answers and run different scenarios, right? Which is one thing that AI is great at. But frontline workers have been hesitant to use AI. because they're not getting the support or direction or education from their management team into what they should be using and how they should be using it. So if you're a manager on this call, think about how you're supporting AI throughout your organization and how you're talking to your team about it. And are you making it accessible to them? And are you making it comfortable for them to want to experiment? And then if you're a frontline worker, you should be thinking about, well, what are my company policies, right? So at Amazon, there's certain AI I can use internally. There's other AI that I can't. And I want to make sure I follow those rules. And then, how do I also build and update my SOPs, my processes to understand how AI can actually provide efficiency to me. So once I've done that inspection, I've practiced, I've proven it out. Well, then I want to trust that AI to be doing some jobs for me, which allows me to free up my time to do other stuff. At the end of the day, all of us need to answer some simple questions, which is, what do I need to do today? How do I prioritize it? And how do I get the best return on my investment? And those are some of the best questions to be asking AI, because it can help you do that really deep dive analysis into focusing on the anomalies of your business, but not just the anomalies because they're anomalies, but the anomalies that actually impact or have the potential to impact your business. And so you showed an anomaly report within the demo that you did. But if the anomaly that I'm looking at is for an ASIN that's on my tail and I don't care about it, then that just created noise for me. And if that anomaly is an ASIN that is one of my high performing, head ASINs, then boy, I better stop everything and go do something about it. And so that's where we have to further train our systems to understand what's happening.
Makes sense. Great advice. I guess that's a great note to end on. Jeff, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the continued support. I probably see you at Accelerate next.
I will be an Accelerate, and thank you for having me. And please, I make this offer on a lot of webinars. I'm surprised at how many people don't connect, but please connect on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. And let me bring back my slideware here for a moment. In terms of next steps from a product standpoint, like I said before, Visi will start to get rolled out. Love your participation there. So will the dashboards on Product 360. Please feel free to reach out, and hopefully you've indicated your interest on the poll. Happy to have you play with it, give us feedback, make it better. I think that's about it for today. With that, thank you so much for joining. And we hope to do this kind of an event twice a year. And hopefully we'll see you in the near future. Just FYI, the Intentwise team will be at both Accelerate as well as Unboxed. Those are the two big conferences coming up. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.